Get the one to go for Mike Striegel up on the flag stand.
Means that pace truck will be coming off. He's going to speed up, get around, and take it off into the infield. So as we come around, front row, Castor Everson, Bobby Labonte on there as they come through, this time out of turn number 4, 25 to decide it. Green flag flies.
Helio had all sorts of issues during hot laps earlier on. He was all over the place, but he got kind of his footing in heat race number 1. See if that is able to carry over into this heat race. And how about Herman? Kenny Wallace to the outside of Castro Neves.
Hermie showing why he's a regular with the modified. He comes around. He is at home on the dirt here as it is. Labonte up front. Wallace in that second spot. Castro Neves not wanting to give that spot up. Here comes Wallace. Wallace looked like he was going to shoot the gap. Did not have to. Labonte and Wallace 1 and 2.
Kenny Wallace, 9-time Xfinity Series winner. He's won 6 times this year. And how about whenever he went down to Corrales Ridge? They asked him to come down and said, hey, can you run all 4 classes? Well, he doesn't have 4 cars, so he bummed a couple. And how about his performance? He ended up winning 3 of the 4 races whenever he was down at Corrales Ridge, and that was just a few weeks ago.
Man, Shane, what a battle going on back in the pack. It is Clint Boyer and Jonathan Davenport battling as they are about halfway through. But Boyer shutting the door on Davenport. They're making contact on that high side as they come around here tonight. It is Boyer now all the way up to 5th. Jonathan Davenport following him right through.
So Davenport started 12th on the invert for heat race number 2. As they shuffle through, he is now up to 6th. So he has cut the field in half.
As they go through now, clean air for Boyer. Boyer to 3rd. At that 3rd spot as they come around, Castro Neves giving up the position. Boyer going to take it. He's on the high side as they come through.
4 wide off of turn number 4. I think the racetrack's starting to come in.
You can't tell me these guys don't want to win one way or the other. As they come through, it is Wallace. Hermie showing what he can do. Him and Labonte with a great battle up front. But it is the battle behind. That is Clint Boyer, Jonathan Davenport on the high side. Castro Neves on that low side. Now here goes the dirt veterans on the high side, taking it away here tonight.
So Bobby Labonte, he is pulling away, but Kenny Wallace is right there with him. It's a 2-car breakaway up front, nearly an entire straightaway before you get back to Clint Boyer.
Newman back there too, involved with that. He is on the back fender of Jonathan Davenport.
So just looking here, got to think that Clint Boyer finished 3rd in the first heat race. He's 3rd right now, and a caution will come out. Yellow flag waves with the 2-car breakaway up front. And Kenny Wallace, he was turning some pretty fast laps. Bobby Labonte at 19.004, his best lap. Have not seen anybody break the 19-second mark yet. We saw 3 of them in practice earlier on.
Wallace off the pace on that. I don't know if that just must be intentional, because now he's sped it back up. I don't know if the car stalled on him, but he was just creeping around the bottom over in turn 1. Pace truck's going to pick him up, and we're going to be back up under fire. Bobby Labonte, Kenny Wallace up front. Look who's in 3rd, Shane.
Clint Boyer still there, 3rd in the first heat, 3rd right now. As of right now, he and Jonathan Davenport, a 1st and a 4th right now. So he actually has the best average finishing spot as of right now. How about Superman? From 12th to 4th, can you believe the Lucas Oil late model ringer, 3-time Lucas Oil late model national champion, four-time winner here, cooling his tires off as he goes down to the inside of the track. Brand new Goodyear radial tire this year for the Camping World Superstar Racing Experience.
Wonder if those would work on my truck.
I'll bet they would.
See if I can't pick up a couple on the way out.
I don't think you've got a place to hide those on the way out.
True. Going to be one to go this time around. Mike Strickle, the Wheatland Outlaw, in that fully equipment flag stand, giving the field one to go this time. Pace truck sets off. It will be Wallace and Labonte on the front row. Row number 2 is going to be explosive.
It will be all 4 of the top drivers right now. Interesting to see Bobby Labonte pick the outside. As the green comes out, they'll stay wheel to wheel. A little bit of advantage as they cross underneath the Foley equipment flag stand, back underway with 16 laps to go.
It is. Now Bobby Labonte over Hermie in that second spot as they come around. Wallace in second. Here comes Clint Boyer. Boyer looks to the high side of Wallace. Cannot make the pass this time as they go into turn number 1. Now it is Boyer on the high side, Wallace on the low side. It is Labonte out front. So far, they've shut the door on Clint Boyer.
They're all lined up nose to tail, starting to get higher on the track, and one car slides up, and that's Brad K. Keselowski goes up with a little bit of a tank slapper, gets into Jonathan Davenport, but they're both okay. Stay 3 wide off of turn 2. Bobby Labonte out in front by almost half a second over Kenny Wallace.
Another one coming up through the field now in that 5th spot. Looks like the 99 of Ernie Francis. Francis, who started up front or about halfway in that pack. In that 5th spot, 4th. John is challenging Jonathan Davenport.
3 wide through turns 3 and 4 again. Stuck right in the middle is Ryan Newman, Rocket Man. In the 39. That's in the South Point Hotel Casino and Spa ride. The South Bend, Indiana native, a USAC Silver Crown champion in 1999. The 2002 Winston Cup Rookie of the Year. He has won twice. He's won at Stafford each of the last 2 seasons. And with his heat race performance earlier on, going to lock up the championship here for the Camping World SRX Series.
Well, don't look now, but Clint Boyer is starting to reel in the leaders. Boyer on the high side and getting loose. Keselowski on the front straightaway.
So Brad Keselowski, we saw him have issues 2 laps ago over in turn 4. Got sideways, and he will loop it around on the front stretch. Brings out the caution again. Woes the field down. And that was with 10 laps to go, so 15 had been completed here in heat race number 2. And going to have to speed this up. There's only 5 minutes left in this session. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to be exact.
As they get rolling again, they're going to reset the field. Got a big feature event. It's going to be a wild one, Shane. Getting ready to come here in these cars. Looking forward to it. Looks like Francis or Bobby Labonte back there with Wallace, but looks like Francis looking to tug on Superman's cape a little bit. Boyer in that 3rd spot, brings him around. Davenport, Superman in 4th.
You wonder if Davenport and Boyer have climbed the ladder as much as they can. Those top 2 cars were able to pull away on both of the last 2 runs. And it's always easy to pass the cars in the back. It's not as easy to pass the cars in the front, and that's where Boyer and Davenport have just kind of hit a wall right now.
Absolutely, and you wonder if their tires are starting to go away a little bit. We talked about that, too. Another set of Goodyears sitting down there waiting. But speaking of waiting, they're coming around out of turn number 4. This time it is Labonte and Wallace. Green flag in the air.
Davenport thought about making it 3 wide off of turn 2. Thinks otherwise, but Boyer, he's going to push it up to the top side. To the outside of Wallace he goes.
He's trying to get around Wallace and get far enough out that he can drop down and get Labonte, but Wallace not letting that happen. Here comes Superman. Jonathan Davenport looks to the inside, down on the bottom as he goes fishing for the lead. Jonathan Davenport in the green car brings him around, trying to get around Wallace. Wallace using that modified background to keep everybody at bay, both high and low.
Bobby Labonte with 21 Cup Series victories. He has ran every race so far in the SRX Series with 1 win. That came at the Nashville Fairgrounds back in 2022. He is one of only 2 pairs of brothers to win championships. He and Terry did it. Kurt and Kyle Busch have done it. And Clint Boyer to the outside. And with Jonathan Davenport still stuck back in 4th right now, that move that Boyer's made, that might be enough
Put him on
to get him at least on the front row. Davenport right now a 1st and a 4th. Boyer a 2nd and a 3rd. So they would both be on the front row.
Well, I don't think Boyer's wanting to stop there. I think he's wanting to take it one more spot if he can get around Bobby Labonte, the veteran, the NASCAR veteran, in that white car up front. Here they come. He's got momentum as he comes out of turn number 4. Got some speed going and is going to hold on to it. Can he make the pass on Bobby Labonte?
And right now it's the battle for the pole. If Davenport can get around Kenny Wallace right now, it would go to Jonathan Davenport. He would have the best average finish in the 2 heat races.
Right now, he's looking to the low side to try to get around Wallace. Cannot do it so far. The laps dwindled down. Bobby Labonte still up front. Boyer in 2nd. Here comes Davenport. Davenport drops down. He shows a nose, gets around, cannot hold the momentum on the car for Wallace. Davenport, Superman, tugging hard, flying down the track.
Bobby Labonte by half a second over Clint Boyer. They will get the white flag this time by from Mike Striegel.
We're going to see if Davenport says, okay, now it's my turn, and shoot underneath Wallace. Cannot do it so far. Davenport stays to the high side. Wallace to the low side as they come out of turn number 2 this time. It looks like Labonte. In does Boyer have one more? Here comes Davenport. Can they make it? Labonte's going to take the win. Boyer in 2nd. Wallace holds on to 3rd. We're going to see who ends up on the pole.
So Bobby Labonte starting on the front row after the invert. Started 2nd. The winner of the Brickyard 400, the winner of the Southern 500, and now the winner of heat race number 2 at Lucas Oil Speedway.